I'm really sorry, guys. There are some connection issues today at my end, so you have to bear with me today. Uh, Let me know once my screen is visible.
It's visible.
Okay, thanks for confirming. Okay, now let me just rephrase this example. So when we were in school, someone said that if you clear class 10th, then you will go to class 12th, and if you cleared class 12th, then you will go for graduation, and then you will get a job. So this is all of these things are interlinked. So what is the condition here? So only if you pass class 10th, then you will be promoted and you will go to class 11th and subsequent classes like 12th. And then if you clear class 12, then you will go for graduation. But what if you fail? So this is the case when you pass, right? But what if you fail? So if you fail, you have to repeat this class. So this is nothing but a condition that we are applying. So if you pass, then you will be promoted. Otherwise, you have to repeat the class. So these are the conditions. So when the condition was if you pass, so if this is true, then you will be promoted. But once the condition like if you are not pass, maybe then it will come to this case, means you are failed. So it will be the false condition when we have written that maybe student by name of ST will be pass, then they will be promoted, and if they are not passed, then they will fail, something like that. So these are also the conditions that we have already seen in our practical life. Similarly, in Python we are going to apply some conditions that are there. So there is only one type of condition, which is if else, which makes the programming very easy. So let's see how we are going to do that. So let's first of all read the theory about the conditions that is there in Python. So we have already seen flavor of conditions while studying comparison operators. Okay. So in the last session, we discussed comparison operators such as less than, greater than, double equal to, not equal to, less than equal to, and there were 6 to 7 operators that we discussed. So we already saw the results that if the condition is true, we were getting the results as true. Otherwise, we were getting the results as false. So basically, every condition when we check in Python, it returns a Boolean answer, either true or false. Now we will see what action to perform if condition is met or not met. So as I just explained in the example, true or false are returned when an expression is compared or evaluated. As we know, as I just told, that it will return always Boolean answer. Either it can be true or false. I hope you know what an expression is. Try using help function to read more about if condition. If I go back to the first session, I told you that if you want to check the inbuilt keywords in Python, you have to use help function. And in help function, you can write of any keyword like if or maybe print, anything that you want to write to read about it or maybe check the syntax of it. You can write help, and within help function, you can pass an argument for that specific keyword. Now, coming to the if else block or maybe if condition or maybe how to write the conditions in Python, let's see the syntax of it. Once we write a condition using if keyword, so basically we have just one condition which starts from if. So if something will be true, then it should process some statements. And second, if something is false, then it should perform some other statements. So let's see the syntax first. So if keyword basically starts the if else block. This has to be kept in mind. Wherever you see a if condition, this means this is a beginning of if else block, right? This means if block is started, and then you will mention some condition here, and at the end of if condition you will definitely mention a colon. If you don't pass a colon, it will throw you an error for sure. So you have to give a colon at the end of every if statement. If you're writing multiple statements in, if you're using multiple conditions in Python, for at the end of every if statement you have to write a colon. And in the next line, if this condition is true, it should process some statements. So those statements should come under one indentation, like it should be indentated. And whatever statement you want to print or maybe process something, that should come under this if condition. And then if this condition is true, it will process this statement and this message will be printed. But if this condition is not true, maybe I am putting a condition, if age is greater than 10, then it should print this. Elif, elif means if first condition is not true, it should also check the other condition. But elif is part of this if else block. So just remember one thing. Always if else condition will start from if keyword and will end at else keyword. But if keyword is definitely mandatory, but else keyword is optional, right? Maybe you can note it somewhere, or maybe just remember. So if keyword is mandatory while writing an if condition in Python, but else and elif is completely optional. You can even skip elif, just write else statement, or maybe you can write elif or skip else statement. These two are optional. But else statement, let me just explain it. So we have mentioned if condition in maybe first condition, like if age is greater than 10. So it will process this statement if the condition is true. But I am writing elif age is greater than 5 and less than 10. So means between 5 and 10, it should process this statement. So we have defined two conditions. But other than these two conditions, whatever would be the age, I don't care. So those should be processed under else block. So this basically completes my one if else block. And every condition should be ended with a colon. As I've mentioned, all the statements under the condition statement should be indented. So if you're writing if, it should be ended with a colon. If you're writing elif, again it should be ended with colon, and similar for else. And all these statements that you're writing against each condition should be indented, and that's the mandatory thing. Otherwise, you will get an error for sure. And there can be only one if and else statement in a if else block, but there can be multiple elif statements inside a if else block. This is also important. So if and else keyword, if you're mentioning in if else block, there should be only one instance of it. You can only write if once in one if else block, and you can also write else just once in one if else block. But there can be multiple elif statements. So don't worry if you're not getting it right now. We are going to cover a lot of examples in just few minutes, so that this will be much clearer. I'm sure there will be no doubts once we discuss all the examples. So without like taking much time on theory, let's jump into some practicals. But any question till now from anyone? Hope people are not sleeping after a tiring day.
Yeah, it's a long day, Kashish. So no questions from my side, Kapil here.
Okay, thanks, Kapil. Okay, great. So let's take few examples. This will like clear the concepts. This will make us clear about the concepts. So I'm defining employee ID is equal to 10, and then I'm printing this employee ID. This is very simple. We have already discussed multiple times. Now let's see the syntax of a if condition. As I told that elif and else are completely optional. So in this block, we are just using if. So we are writing if eid is double equal to 12. Make sure to check the condition you are using this comparison operator double equal to. If you use single equal to, this is basically a assignment operator which assigns a value to a variable. But here, to check a condition, you have to use double equal to, which basically compares the value of this variable. If the value is equal to 12, then it should print employee ID is EID. And I hope you remember the F string. That's why I told that to practice and revisit all the concepts that were there in past in last 5 sessions, because all of those concepts will be used here. As you can see, this is the comparison operator, this is the assignment operator, this is F string. We already discussed in the past sessions. Okay, so if this condition is true, then only it will print this statement, and you can see that this is indented inside the if block. If I run this, you can see there is no output that is there. But if I check that if employee ID is equal to 10, as we can see it is 10, then the answer should be true. It should return the so this condition will be met and this statement will be printed on my screen. So you can see employee ID is 10. So this was very basic example just to explain the concept. Now let's move ahead and create another variable, which is age. I have kept age as 22, and let's write if age is greater than equal to 18, then we are printing you are eligible to apply for voter ID. Else, I have not included elif as it is optional. It totally depends on me. Under else, I'm writing except this condition, like any other age which is less than 18, this should be processed under this statement, like else block. So if the age is equal to or greater than 18, then this statement will be printed. Otherwise, it will come to else block. Since this condition will be false, it will check if there is any other condition that we have mentioned. So we have not mentioned any other condition, so it will just come to else block and will print out the statement that is there. So let's check. So age is 22, that's why it is greater than 18. This means this condition has met the um, criteria, and then it has printed that you are eligible to apply for voter ID. If I change it to 15, which is less than 18, so this condition will be false and it will come to else block and it will print the statement which is not eligible. So this was also a basic example, but again, if I don't mention the else block, then it will not print anything, because we have just mentioned the condition only when the age should be greater than or equal to 18. We have not given any, like you can say, command to the Python program that what it should be doing if the age is less than 18. So it will not print anything on the screen. And I hope that is clear. In the next example, we can see that I have used all of these if, elif, and else. So now we have taken age is equal to 6 and we are checking if age is greater than equal to 18, and again, and is a logical operator that we discussed in the last session. There were three operators: and, or, and not. If you don't remember, I can just give you an overview that and basically helps us to check, or basically it tells Python that all the conditions should be met. Otherwise, sorry, let me just rephrase. If all the conditions would be true, only then it will print the or maybe it will execute the statements under that condition. If any of the condition is false, then it will not execute that if block or maybe if statements. Let's see how it works. So if I'm saying if age is greater than equal to 18 and age is less than 40, what does it mean? I'm saying that if age is between 18 and 40, then only we will print you are eligible to apply for voter ID. So this is the first condition. When either of this condition is false, then it will not execute this statement, and then it will come to elif block. So we have written if age is between 18 and 40, then it will process this. Else, for okay, not else, we have written elif. Elif age is less than 18, print this statement. What is elif? It is basically else if, but in Python we write it as elif. So we are saying if age is less than 18, then you should print this, and else if there is any other thing, we should print as this you have given incorrect age. So let's try. We have entered 6. It is printing you are not eligible to apply for voter ID. But how it processed? Let's verify. So age is 6. First of all, it will verify age is greater than equal to 18, false, as age is less than 18. Age is less than equal to 40, yes, it is true. But and works in the condition when both the conditions or multiple conditions should be true in the same if statement. If any of the condition is false, it will make the answer as false. That's why it has not processed this statement. Now it has come to elif block. So what is elif saying? If age is less than 18, yes, it is less than 18. That's why this condition is true. That's why it has printed this statement and it has not come to else block. So my processing stopped here, and That's all in this question. Now you have to do one thing just for practice. You have to create a string variable to accept your city as value. Maybe just ask user, just to remind you that we can take the input from the user using input function. So just take a value from the user to accept the city. Maybe just write enter your city, then user will pass on city as maybe ABC. Then you have to do use if else condition to check if the city is matching with the city in the if statement. So maybe you will write if city is equal to maybe ABC, then print a message for user, else print some other message under else statement. Now you have to do it by two operators. So try using comparison operator, which we already discussed, like these are the comparison operators. And second, using identity operators. Can anyone tell me what were the identity operators that were discussed in the last session? Any random guesses?
Hi, Kashish.
Yes, Anusha.
Hello. Yeah, that less than equal to is, and the equal to single equal to is like an identity operator, if I'm not wrong.
No, no,
Not
that is
sure on
wrong.
that. Sorry.
No, those are
Single.
comparative operators.
Yeah, I got confused.
So these less than equal to and double equal to, all of these are comparison operators. The single equal to is used to basically assign a value to a variable. So that is an assignment operator.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Kanika is
Okay.
right. The identity operators were is and is not. And let me just recall the concept. So is and is not basically checks the address of the memory. So if we are defining any variable like age, so if we are using this comparison operator, which is double equal to, it will check the value of the variables, right? But if we use identity operators, it check the basically address location of the variables. If the IDs are same, then it will process, then it will result as true. If the IDs are not same, then it will result as false. And maybe now you can just go to my notes from the last session and try this question. This is very easy, but yes, if you not practice, then this will be difficult for you. Okay, so now let's move towards some other questions. Let's use input function to take user's age as user input. Okay, so now we are taking the user's age. We will ask them what is your age. So I'm writing enter your age using input function. So input function helps us to take input from the user, and then we are checking. So the age will be stored in the age variable, and then we are checking if the age is greater than or equal to 18, then we are printing eligible to apply. If age is less than 18, you are not eligible. So just the change from the above questions are, we are just taking the age as input. So let me run this. Maybe age is 16. So we will get a message. So okay, in this example, the problem is this error, type error, not supported between instances of str and int. What does it mean? It means that whenever you use input function, it always return the value as string. Please remember, input function always return the value as string. If I check, maybe I can add one more cell, or I have already added done below. If I check the type and the value of age, if I print this, you can see it belongs to class str. It means it has not stored age as the integer value, it has stored as string value. And then we are comparing string value with a integer. So that's why it is giving us a type error that it cannot, the comparison operator cannot support, are not supported between instances of str and int. So this is the error that we always get once we use input function. So to overcome, or maybe to eliminate this error, we use int function. As we learned tuple function, list function to convert a tuple to list, and we use tuple function to convert list to tuple. Similarly, to convert from string to integer, we use int function. So let's understand how it works. So first of all, we have written input, enter your age. So we will suppose enter age as 16. So now the output of only this statement that I am highlighting, this will be 16. So now, but as a string, and then this string will go as an input to outer function, which is int. So the thing that you should notice here is, whenever you execute multiple functions, I mean nested functions, so the innermost function gets executed firstly, then it comes to the outer function, and then maybe there are some more outer functions. It will basically pass on the result of the innermost function to that outer function, and maybe there is one more outer function, then it will pass on the result of this to the outermost function. So the result of this will be string of 16, and it will be argument for the int function. So basically it will convert the value of 16 as a string to integer and will store it in the age variable. Is it clear how it is processing this?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then we are just taking the same thing that we did above, and let's see the answer. 16. Now you can see you are not eligible, and if I try one more time, maybe 20, you are eligible to apply. So that's how we can convert a string value to integer, and you can apply this int function anywhere, but only when you have a value, basically a number value inside a string, then only it will work.
Ashish, I have a question here.
Yeah, tell me.
Do you mind? What if the string which we are entering
Hmm.
has a space there? So the int function which we are using for the
This will not work then.
typecast.
So
Exactly.
we can,
So how do we trim it?
so advanced things will come later, but right now we are just eliminating this error and resolving the solution for this question. But if I try something like string maybe a, you can see value error, invalid literal for int with base 10. So it will not accept such strings, but if I write 10, then it will accept. And even in your case, I'm writing just space, it will not accept. So it doesn't accept such characters, even only when you are passing a integer value, just one. So then only it will process that.
Yeah, integer value and then followed or maybe prefix with a space, which should also
No, that will also not
give
work.
an error.
Okay, this is working. If
Let's say if you write exactly. Yeah,
okay, okay.
That is what I meant.
Basically, yeah, it is streaming. Okay, this is also learning for me. Thanks for putting that. Okay, now we are creating the variables conditionally. What does it mean? If the condition is true, then we are creating a new variable. Let's see how. So now we are saying that we are asking the user, what is your monthly salary? So we are printing a message, enter your monthly salary, then colon. And again, this will return it as a string. And we are using int function to convert it into integer. So monthly salary will be saved to this variable. And then we are checking if month salary is greater than equal to 10,000, then we are computing a variable, basically a new variable, which is CTC, based on this condition. If only this condition is meeting, then it will create this CTC variable. So if the salary is greater than equal to 10,000, it will compute monthly salary into 12 to compute the annual CTC. Then it will store the value to CTC variable. And finally, it will print out your CTC is this CTC. But if salary is less than 10,000, the formula is different to compute CTC. So we are giving 12 month salary plus a bonus of 1 month salary. So bonus for lower earning group, something like that. So the condition, if this condition is meeting, this formula is different. So this means that we are creating the variables conditionally based on these conditions. And finally, we are printing the statement, the same statement that is written above. Okay, let me run this. And maybe we can write 19,000, some number. You can see it has computed the salary based on this condition since salary is greater than 10,000. If I again run this, if I maybe write 100, you can see salary into 12, which means 1200 plus month salary, which is 100. So the result is 1300 is the CTC. But the efficient way of writing this program, maybe I can add one more cell. We can eliminate these two statements. Maybe I can comment that. So I hope you know how to comment using a hash sign. And in this example, you can see we have indentation in the print statement as well, right? Here also and here also. But what if I remove both of these statements by just commenting it and moving the print statement? Sorry, we can copy this, and I'm just moving the print statement out of the if else conditions, right? So let's see how does it work. Let me enter 100 again. You can see the answer is coming same. Even if I enter the upper value like 17,000, then also the answer is coming as expected. So how does it working? So in the upper example, we mentioned if the condition is this, then it should process these two statements. Then if the condition is this, then it should process these two statements. But we can see that this statement is common in both the in both the conditions, right? So we can eliminate these common statements under the conditions, and we can put it out of the if else block, which means even if this condition executes, so what it will do, it will create CTC variable as per this formula, right? Then this if else block is completed up to this step. This is completed. But Python will see that there are some other statements that are left to be processed in my program. So even if this if else block is completed, we now have a CTC variable in place after executing this statement, and CTC variable is created. And finally, it will check there is one more statement to be processed. So CTC variable will be printed according to this print statement now. So even if CTC is computed here or here, it will print out this statement out of the if else block. Here, the print statement was dependent on the conditions, but here it is not dependent on the conditions, right? Now let's try some more examples. Let me just change this, or maybe we can add one more cell. So let me write it like if month salary is less than 10,000 and month underscore salary is greater than 5,000, then it should do this. And we have not given what should happen if the salary is less than 5,000, right? So let's run this, and maybe I can give 400. You can see it is still printing 1300. How? Because in the kernel, the value 1300 is stored as CTC. In this program, this condition is not fulfilled because salary is, of course, not greater than 10,000, and this condition is also not filled because salary is not between 5,000 and 10,000. Salary is less than 5,000 in this case, which for which we have not given any condition. So we have not we haven't tell Python to what to process when salary is less than 5,000. So basically, it is just printing this. It is just printing the statement here with the value which was stored in the upper cell. But what if I clear the kernel and try this statement again? It will throw me an error that CTC variable doesn't exist. So even if, so in the upper example, like this one, so when the condition is true, then only it will print. But in this example, when the conditions are not true, it will try to print that because this is out of the if else condition, and it may throw you an error if you're not specified any condition like less than 5,000. So is this clear? Because this is important concept to understand what is the role of indentation here in if else block. If I'm writing here, then it becomes dependent on elif block. But if I'm writing here, it is out of if else block. So is this clear to everyone?
So Kashish, in the previous example, you told when it doesn't belong anywhere, it gives us the blank value, right? So if we had posted this code for the first time, it would have given the blank answer, right? The 400.
No. Let me explain it again, but time is finished. So let us rejoin, and then I can
Okay.
explain it. Okay, I'm ending this meeting. Let us rejoin.